Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Rod Johnson, Coach Rod Johnson, and I'm your personal relationship coach. Welcome to No More Small Talk. And yes, this is about personal relationship because that's what I am. I'm a personal relationship coach. And I'm here to share with you some of the tools that I've used to overcome some of the trials and tribulations that I've had, both professionally and personally, from a relationship perspective. The one thing that I have learned in life is that everything we do is based on our ability to build and manage our relationships, both personally and professionally. And what I want to share with you, just a little bit about myself. I went through a very hard um, marriage situation, which is how I came to be in front of the camera right now. Because what I went through, I wish no one to go through. Now I know you're probably looking at, well, who am I talking to? Honestly, I'm really targeting women here for this between ages 35 and up to 50, because today you all are the most targeted group of individuals on the planet right now in the United States. And now more than ever is a time where we need to be able to depend on each other. And that means forming relationships. And the last thing that I would want anyone to experience is what I went through for 2 years. And that was to the point where you lost your voice, you lost your dreams, and you lost yourself. So, what I'm going to share with you, and what I hope I can reach at least one person to help them through this situation that they may be in a personal relationship, or it may be a situation with the job. Either way, I want to coach you through that. And that's why I'm here today. So without further ado, let's get started. How do you start this journey to overcome that level of intense relationships? Maybe you found yourself in failed relationship after failed relationship, and you're starting to blame yourself and wondering if anything is wrong with you. I personally literally got to the point where I did not even trust my own decision making processes. I didn't trust myself to make a decision, which led me to go through a therapy to understand what was behind all this. And from that, I went I experienced coaching. I had a coach to help coach me through some things professionally. So believe whatever I'm sharing with you right now isn't anything that I haven't done myself. And I've captured a lot of what I'm sharing with you, the baseline of what I'm sharing with you, which is why I call it No More Small Talk, is because that voice in your head, not just the voice outside, but the voice in your head, that little voice, has a tendency to come into play and causes us to doubt ourselves. And the other part of that is that voice causes us to not only not trust our thought processes, but it also causes us to doubt ourselves and our ability to have a happy life. So, how do we deal with that? How do we start that journey? It starts with first accountability, self awareness. In order for you to live the life that you want to live, you have to accept some accountability. We can't blame everybody for what has happened to us until we take those steps to try to overcome those things that have impacted us. Our mind is a great, fabulous machine, but it's set in defense mode. And what I mean by that is our brains are set to protect us. So if there was an event that happened at work that triggered a certain response, if there was a personal relationship that had certain elements to it that was a traumatic experience for you, our brains remember those things. And when we come across similar type experiences, our brains go into protect mode. And that's why a lot of times we end up repeating what the results we have is because our brain takes over and repeats itself. But understand that can be changed. We can rewire our thinking, and so we can overcome that. But to begin that, we got to move forward and release the past. Now, I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. So for therapy deals with the past and how you became the person that you are and how you thinking the way that you think. A coach, which is what I am, personal relationship coach, I take you from where you are to where you want to be. That is what I'm here for, is to help you in that aspect. So with that being said, self-awareness. How do we start that from where we are? We accept accountability for what happened to us. Yes, this happened. It happened. And we accept it and understand what our role in that was, because everybody has a role. You can't have a relationship with just one person. You can, but it's really in this world today, it's about two people. And you understand that relationship. And the first question you got to ask yourself is, when you met that person, who were you? Were you your authentic self? And was that person their authentic selves? And that's a very hard question to answer today, because we get into long-term relationships and that's when we start seeing the true person. But is that really when we first start seeing the true person at their job or in our personal relationships? A lot of times we see the flags and we feel like we can change that because maybe that's the type of person you are. You like to help people and you just want to be happy. So you figure, oh, well, maybe that person just had a bad day, or maybe that's not really who they are, or maybe I can change them. That was my thought. I was like, well, you know what? I can change them. You can't change anyone that doesn't want to change themselves. And that even starts with you. And so once I realized that I was part of the problem, I went to work. Now, how did I do that? Well, one of the first tools that I did was I sat down and started reflecting on my relationships and where we got off track. Where did my relationship with my supervisor get off track? My coworkers. And then I wrote those things down of what I had been told in my past. And here's your first tool. If you want to rewire the way you think and respond, grab your notebook. Doesn't have to be a thick one, because this is going to be your working notebook as we go along this journey. On the left-hand side, you write down all the at least 10 things just to get you started. If you come up with more, that's great. Write down 10 things that you have been told you can't do or shouldn't do, or things people have said about you, on the left hand side. On the right hand side, write down all the accomplishments that contradict what people had told you or what you even told yourself, and you actually accomplished that thing. Maybe there was a trip someone said you couldn't go on and you actually went. Maybe there was a car somebody said you couldn't afford and you actually went out and purchased it and was able to afford it and live comfortably. Maybe there was a gentleman that had a piece of jewelry that you like and you wanted to get that for yourself, and somebody said, oh, well, you know, you don't deserve that, and you actually one day went and got that piece of jewelry. But on that sheet of paper, write down those negative things that people and you yourself has said to yourself or to you. And on the opposite side, write down the evidence that contradicts what those items were. It's something about when the mind sees things on paper, it starts the rewiring process. Try that. That's what I did. And I started seeing that I wasn't the person that people said I was. And it starts that process. Another thought is another tool that you can use. I know a lot of people have heard about it and think it may be a little off, but actual meditation, and this is not easy, but it's possible. I started out with maybe 3 minutes, just trying to sit there for 3 minutes, set my timer on my phone, and just sit there for 3 minutes and just think about nothing, just be at peace. And I worked my way up to 30 minutes. 30 minutes is good for me, clears my head, but it's an accomplishment because that was something I didn't think I could do, and I was able to actually do it and enjoy it. It's just a time to reset. We always need to reset. So that meditation, I even do it at lunchtime. I would do it at lunchtime. I would go out to my car. Maybe I had a rough morning, um, and I would go out at lunchtime, sit in my car, and just relax. Do some meditation real quick, and just take a break. Even if it's 5 minutes, just take a break, just to step away from what is going on in the world. Now I know you're wondering about my who am I talking to right now? Honestly, we're all human and we all have feelings. We respond differently, but at the end of the day, we all have feelings. And I'm talking to that lady, and men, if you're out there listening, but my target is women because I think today, more than ever, this is a period in time when you all are catching pure hell, to be honest with you. And we're at a time where we need to be able to lean on someone. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be someone that you have a relationship with, male or female. This is about personal relationships and building powerful relationships and support structures. Because a lot of times we think that we have a strong relationship with a friend and find out, well, that person wasn't really a friend. They were more of an associate because I couldn't depend on them. So, how do we go about building and having that close knit circle? We start with ourselves and accountability and acceptability and forgiveness with ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves. I would sit down all the time and say, you know what? Yes, I did that. Okay, I'm past that now. That's not who I am today. People are constantly going to think of you of who you were and not who you are. However, we have to do the work ourselves. And it's not a short journey. This is not an overnight process. This is a process that I started literally 3 years ago, and I'm still in it. So I'm giving you the play-by-play of me going through the tools that I'm sharing with you, and I still use those tools today. So this is the first episode of No More Small Talk, and it's about how to start the process of rewiring your story. We're all a novel. We all are novels walking around. And novels have different chapters. Some of those chapters are happy, and some of those chapters are very challenging. At the end of the day, you still have another chapter. Don't take those failed relationships as the end. Those were opportunities that life gave you to learn more about yourself and about other people. There's nothing wrong with those learning opportunities. We're going to have them. If you're living, you're going to have them. We're going to have decisions that we made that we probably felt we shouldn't have made. But it happened. We made the decision, we learned from it, and you move on. I want to be able to coach you and help you on the journey to overcome those obstacles that may be holding you back from living the life you want to live. And it all starts with having empowered relationships, both with ourselves and being able to build with the right people, professionally and personally. I'm Rod Johnson, and I want to welcome you to the No More Small Talk. If what I've shared with you today just reaches one person, just hit like, follow, share this broadcast. If this resonated with you, if there was something I said that connected with you, just put in the comments yes. Just give me a yes and tell me where you're from. I just want to know how far I'm reaching. Just tell me where you're from. Even doing this first broadcast was a hard thing for me because I was like, I don't know who would want to listen to me, but I've been told over and over again, I don't know how you made it through what you made it through. When I tell you it was a bad situation, it was bad, but I was able to make it through. And I want to share with you the tools that I use to come out the other side. It's still a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress. However, I'm on the other side. So, with that being said, thank you all for listening. Please like, share, and follow, and leave me a comment of where you're from. And if this made any sense to you and touched you, please let me know and say yes in the comments. Thank you, and I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm Rod Johnson, your personal relationship coach and the founder of No More Small Talk. Thank you.